The QSO Today virtual Ham Expo that took place in August of 2020 is back. And today I'm going to get to talk to Eric, 4Z1 Uniform Golf, which is his Israeli call sign. He's going to come on to the show today and talk to us about what to expect this coming March of 2021. So stick around.
Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to Ham Radio 2.0. My name's Jason. I'm KC5HWB. We talk about all kinds of new and interesting things in ham radio on this channel across multiple platforms. So if you are joining us from YouTube or another platform somewhere else, consider subscribing below, hitting the like button, however the platform allows, because this is going to be shared all over the place. So last year, QSO Today Virtual Ham Expo was a big success, and I'm excited to get Eric back onto the channel today so that he can tell us about the upcoming show in March and about the fact that it's going to be twice a year. He's going to do it in March of 2021 and again in August of 2021. So we're going to see some big things for this show upcoming. Take a look at this interview with Eric, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Good. So today we're going to talk to Eric from the QSO Today podcast, who is in charge of, or kind of spearheading, as it were, the next 2021 edition of the QSO Today Virtual Ham Expo coming up in March. Eric, thank you for joining us today, and I'm excited to see what you've got in store with us. I know you've talked about some upgrades, and you guys did a survey after the show last year and took a lot of that feedback into consideration. So please tell us what you have in store for us in a couple of months.
Right. Okay. So as you know, last August, we did the first QSO Today Virtual Ham Expo. And that expo, in the end, we had 16,000 visitors to our platform. We sent a survey to 25,000 who registered. We received 6,000 of those surveys back, which is pretty good. It's almost 25%, which is hams like to communicate, and so they communicated with us. We thought that the last Expo was a great success, considering it was the very first time it had been done, and we had a 93% satisfaction rating. So 93% of the people that we surveyed said that they would come back to the next Expo. However, there were things that we thought ourselves were missing from the Expo, and for me, for example, it was, I didn't feel like there was 16,000 people on the platform that weekend, because you were navigating between these virtual booths. You were chatting with people in text chat. Even though we had audio and video chat available on those, it was mostly not used. So from the surveys and then from some research, I spent the month of September looking for ways to improve the Expo. So how do we create a feeling that there's actually a lot of life there? I'll give you an example. Some of the vendors, the average vendor visit, and so the unique visit to each vendor booth on the average was almost 4,000 for that weekend. Some of the vendors had, including repeat visits, had over 30,000 visitors. But they didn't feel it. So that was a very interesting thing. And you guys were also there as well. So, yes. But you very quickly understood that you needed a Zoom webinar room in order to keep it going.
Right.
So what we've done is we looked at a lot of technology. I wanted to work on things like workflow, how to make presentations in the auditorium and without moving the audience, keep them in there for live Q&A. So I had a whole big punch list of things that I wanted to improve the user experience, to make it feel like there's really people there, and to make it easier for us to not only make the presentations but do Q&A afterwards, and then take all of those videos that we're recording and more easily put them back up so that people could enjoy those videos in that that 30-day after period. So all of those things we did. So we've actually have new technology that we're integrating with the platform that we were on. So People will have the outside lobby with the people walking around. People have the inside lobby with the people walking around. They will have the exhibit hall area with the booths like before. However, when you enter the booth, you're entering a different platform, and that platform will let you see all the people that are there. So
Okay.
that's the first thing. If you want, I can share my screen and I can show you
Please.
that what we've done. So, okay, can you see this now, Jason?
Yes.
Okay, so what we have here is this is where you go. So when you enter Flex Radio's booth, Flex Radio is the platinum sponsor of the next QSO Today Virtual Ham Expo. You're going to enter their lobby, and that lobby has tables. So I've got 8 tables showing here. Those tables have a preset number of seats. So somebody can be sitting at table 1. And what you do is you just bring your mouse and you click on a chair, and now you're sitting at the table. And when you sit at the table, then you'll have the video conference will come up with all the people sitting at the table. And then if you decide you want to move to another table, you just take your mouse and you click on another chair, and now you're sitting at another table. So this means that, for example, at Flex Radio, Gerald, K5SDR, could be sitting at a table, and people can come and they can visit with him. And when they're finished with the conversation, they can move over to Michael, or they can move over to Lori, or they can move over to somebody else there at Flex Radio and have their conversations with a group or privately. There's also in the outside of the auditorium, there's a system called speed networking. So if you just want to meet random people on the platform, and we expect 20,000 the next time, then you can click on the speed networking, and you'll have random 5-minute conversations with whoever pops up. Now, what it'll try to do is, the system is kind of smart, and it'll try to match people up by whatever interests that we've surveyed, so that they can actually talk to people who are maybe similar in interest. But it means that if there's hundreds of people in the social networking area, then you'll be able to have these 5-minute conversations, kind of like a hallway conversation that you would have at a real expo. And then this area over here, these will be all of the little icons of all the people who are there, and you can communicate with, you can search and you can communicate with everybody on the platform.
On the right side there, and that what's blank?
On the right side here, yeah, this will populate with with all of the icons, about 8 to 10 on each row. So you'll see it'll be really packed. You'll have this this idea that those are really people there, and you have the ability to search and find and talk to those people, and you can say, hey, go over to table 8, and we'll sit down and we'll have a conversation.
Okay. And will that just be like a chat message with that person you click on in the lobby over there, or?
Right now it's a chat message, but this platform is continually evolving, and we hope that by the time that we start in March, that we'll actually have the ability to click and create a video conference. But if it's not there, then we'll actually have some ideas for people to be prepared to be able to send like a little link that actually will open a video conference with them.
Good.
And then we've hired a programmer that is then integrating all of these systems together, so that you'll have a passport, in terms of a link, and this passport will get you onto all the platforms without your having to enter information or to log in or things like that.
Gotcha. Huh. Interesting. It's going to be fun
so
to see the upgrades.
We're doing a lot of we're putting in a lot of technology in order to make this thing play. I'll give you back your screen.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Cool. Good. Hey, you know what? I remember thinking, yeah, I guess I can see the whole. It didn't seem like it was very crowded, but if you went out and looked, like I went to all the different booths. I went to the Flex Radio booth, and I went to the 4, 5, or 6 booths that Gigaparts had. And the R Finder booth was pretty popular, and I went and visited all these booths, and you can see the list of people in there. So I kind of knew where to look, but obviously it's a new experience for everybody, and it's not like being in a crowded room at like Orlando Hamcation or something, but But it was still kind of fun. I don't remember. Yeah, we integrated our own Zoom account into our room for the YouTubers bunch. I
Right.
don't remember seeing an option for any, because I thought there was a built-in video conference last time. But I remember, and I can't, it was several months ago. I don't remember what it looks like right now. But I remember thinking I couldn't figure out how to get it to work or get into it or something, which is why we integrated our own Zoom account into the room, and that's where we sat on our own booth most of the time. And I know that Bob
Right.
from
So the
Artfinder
platform
had
that we're using is called AirMeet Summit.
Okay.
It's AirMeet's a new company. They're about a year old.
Mhm.
They've actually just taken some major investment because what they're doing is very exciting.
Mhm.
The AirMeet Summit platform will also allow us to put all of the vendors. So all of the vendors who are on the other platform, their booths, when you click on, enter the booth, then you'll actually jump over to the AirMeet Summit platform where they have their own lounges. So every exhibitor booth will have its own lounge with, the smallest booth might only have a couple of tables. The larger booths will have more tables. So they'll all have the that ability. And then the platinum and gold sponsors actually have their own webinar area, so they can actually, if they want, take all of the visitors to their booth at that time and then do live presentations or demonstrations or something, in their lounge. So it's pretty exciting. We think that this is going to be a game changer in terms of making a great user experience for a virtual ham radio conference.
That sounds fun. Well, good.
We also have a unique audience. What we discovered from our surveys was that 60% of the people that we surveyed never go to large shows. They never go to Dayton or Orlando or any of the major shows, and 40% never go to even local conventions. These same people, the same demographic, tend to be over 50. They've been licensed for at least 10 years. They have the extra class license. They buy a lot of equipment. They're active operators, but they just don't travel. So we think that we actually have a great user experience for that demographic. And then we also know that from the stats that we have in North America, that almost there's over 800,000 licensees in North America now. The majority of them are not active. So we think that a virtual expo is a way for someone who's maybe a little bit wary of entering a person-to-person live expo. This gives them an opportunity to explore with the presentations that are being made, to explore the vendors, to kind of get their feet wet in amateur radio without making that commitment to hopping in the car and going to one of the major shows or even the smaller shows. So we're hoping that it has a broad appeal. It's easy to access. It's certainly inexpensive to be a part of. And we're hoping that that this continues, because we plan to do this twice a year. So we'll do this again in August, and we hope that this will be a regular twice a year event.
Awesome. Okay, I didn't realize you were doing it twice a year. I just thought you were choosing a different month for 2021.
So we're thinking we're doing March and August. So March and August will be our 2 months when we do this.
Cool. Okay. Good. Tell me about some of the new vendors. You said Flex Radio was your platinum sponsor this time. So tell me about, have you gotten any new vendors sign up that we didn't see last time yet?
Yeah, I think there will be a few new vendors that are coming on that are trying it. It's an interesting question. I was actually talking to somebody last night who's very small. They're a two-man company, family business. And when you have a platform that literally will have, over 10,000 people on it, then you wonder, well, how do you staff a booth like that? So what we learned from our, from the statistics that we saw and the booth visits that we saw and the booth reports that we delivered was that you kind of have to staff the booth if you're popular, with as many people as you would have at Dayton. So, for example, Flex Radio the last time had 17 booth representatives in their booth, and they were busy the entire weekend.
Yes.
So the big guys are going to have lots of visits. The smaller guys who are kind of niche products may not have as many visits, but we're thinking of ways. Well, how do you engage with them? Well, we think the tables are actually a good way for if people come into the lounge and they see that the tables are full, well, they see, well, that must be popular, and maybe they'll come back. But we know that they came, so we kind of will know that they visited the booth. And the platform here also has the ability to, if somebody pushes the yellow button in the lounge, that yellow button will generate a ticket for the booth owner, for the company, that says this person's interested in your product's follow-up after the show. One of the issues that potentially that you have is how do you take orders on a platform if you're a vendor? You want to sell radios. I got emails from over the weekend in August from people that say, well, I want to buy a XX. How do I buy an XX? Because either the distributor or the company wasn't able to engage with them to take the order. So there's another thing we're doing. So we actually have signed a contract with a company, and there's more information on our website, that when you push the Buy Now button on the booth, it will actually go to an inbound call center. And that call center, those call center seats are assigned to the destinations that the booth owner tells us. So if it's going to their distributor, if their distributor is willing to answer their phone on the weekend of the show, then they will get their screen will pop. They'll be, in video conference with the customer. They can take the order. If they're busy, then the customer is put in a queue, and the next available operator. We'll supply as many seats for this inbound call center. We're buying at least 100 seats to distribute amongst the vendors. So we want to make sure that they have a great user experience, that the attendees have a great user experience. If they want to buy something, that they can push a button and they can talk to somebody who'll take their order. Now, it's kind of like, well, why don't they just go to the shopping cart, on one of the vendors and order? And I think that what we learned from our survey is that if you're doing a convention, people are used to kind of doing the eyeball contact with the salesman, right? And giving them the order. So we're trying to recreate the same user experience that you would have if you were at a face-to-face convention, but we're doing it all virtually. So we're making these investments in technology in order to make it easier for the vendors to transact business, for the attendees to buy stuff if they want to buy stuff. And if you're really small, then you push a button, and that vendor will call you after the show and work it out with you.
Perfect. Hey, that's great. Well, that upgrades not only the experience for your audience, but your vendors also. So that it gives.
Well, that's the idea.
Yeah.
We heard the vendors.
Yeah.
It was, for some of them it was quite difficult, and admittedly so. We had no idea what to expect the last time.
Right.
And we were surprised. We were thinking, boy, if we get 10,000 people, that would be really cool. And then all of a sudden, the last week, it was going crazy. And we, I'd call Brad, my partner, and I'd say, Brad, we just went over 12,000. And then the next day, I said, Brad, we're over 16,000. When's it going to stop? So
yeah.
And so right now we've already started ticketing, and we're ahead. Considering we're more than 2 months away, we're ahead of our projections of where we would be right now. But we see that it's like a hockey stick. As soon as we get in within the first the 2 weeks before the event, then it'll take off.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, hey, that is great. That's enough information for pretty much a full episode. I don't want to talk too long, but we've got at least 2 more meetings between you and I here on this channel between now and the time the expo starts. So we're gonna hook back up again, maybe towards the 1st of February, I think, and get an update of where you are, what your registration count is, and anything else you want to talk to us. So I think that we're gonna follow Eric along and just kind of prepare everybody to know what to expect as much as we can before March 13th and 14th. So tell us
Right. So as we have, I didn't mention speakers, and I guess we can save that till the next time. But we've already got over 60 speakers in our
okay.
on our playbill.
Okay.
And we'll put that up as soon as. Well, I can mention right now, AMSAT has taken a lead role. Michelle Thompson, W5 NYV, has taken a lead role in making sure that AMSAT is well represented with 9 presentations. So they will have their own channel. Our system, we have a multiplex theater now, so we can have up to 10 tracks. And I'm happy to talk about those at the next time, with more information. But there will be an AMSAT track with all of their presentations.
Okay. Now tell us the dates and the time zones. I know you said it was going to be Pacific time.
Right.
USA,
so the majority of our from what we know and based on, I mean, I started again thinking that this could be an international event. I sent invitations for speakers all over the world, and the only replies I got really were from North America. So this is a North American conference primarily. It's intended for a North American audience. It will start on March 12th at 6 p.m. Pacific time and run for 48 straight hours. Now that doesn't mean that the presentation hall, for example, will start the next morning at 8 o'clock Pacific time, and then there's by its daylight saving time shift that weekend. So then at 8 o'clock Sunday morning will also begin. And one of the interesting things that we saw last time, as we're watching, we have this big dashboard and we're watching what's happening on the platform, is that around noon on Sundays, things start winding down. And I'm going, well, what's going on here? It's kind of like feeling like Dayton, where everybody's walking around with their rollerboard suitcases.
Right.
Like, the expo is kind of like bleeding out afternoon on Sunday, just like a live expo, like a live convention would be doing, on the weekend. So I think that we probably will go very hard and heavy on Saturday. We probably will go half day and lighten it up. We have there'll certainly be plenty of activities. We encourage the vendors and the YouTubers and the podcasters to use the platform on Friday night for either their parties or their broadcasts.
Okay.
Our platform will have the ability to have a live audience so that you can engage a live audience and take questions, even promote people who are in your audience to the stage if you want to talk to them.
Okay.
And then you can, if you wanted to YouTube live or Facebook live stream, you can do that from the platform as well.
Okay.
So
I've already got my idea in my head exactly what I want to do now that you said that.
Right. Well, I even have a track called Podcast Pavilion.
Okay.
So I'll be sending all the podcasters a schedule so that if they'd like to book a time for using the live auditorium for their podcast and in front of their audience, then they can do that as well.
Great. Awesome. That'd be great. So podcast, so audio only or video podcast?
No, video.
Okay.
Video. You can
because a lot of the podcasters
do just what you're doing
only.
right now on our platform.
Okay. Well, a lot of the podcasters out there like 86DM and well, used to be 100 Watts and Wire, although now he's gone video. But a lot of the podcasters just only do audio. So that's why I was trying to clarify what you meant by podcasters, because this day and age, it can kind of mean
for example, I know that even Ham Radio Workbench now is not afraid of doing stuff on Zoom, right?
Right.
So if they wanted to do their show Friday night, which I think they normally record maybe Friday night, then they could actually, move their, at least for the weekend, they could move their show over to our platform. We can record it for them because it's part of the whole thing. They can any of their audience that are on the platform can be promoted to the stage with their video. So if somebody has a question, you can actually, or you've got a notable in the audience that you'd like to interrogate, you can bring them to the stage and you can talk to them.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. Okay. Well, I got an idea for what I want to do, so I'll hit you up
Good.
after we
we're
end the
happy to
recording.
we're happy to accommodate, Jason.
Okay. Good. Well, thank you very much. Hey, this is great information. I'm looking forward to it. It was a great experience last time. I got a lot of good feedback after the fact. We had a lot of people stopping by. I had 2 or 3 vendors from other who had booths that are their own that came into our YouTubers Bunch booth and talked to our audience there. And then I told everybody, hey, go over there to their booth and check out even more information they have. So I think it was easy for people to kind of hop around where they wanted to, and there's stuff that's going on at the same time. But it's still easier than walking to this building and finding that building. You just go out to the lobby and everything's right there. So so it's since
Yeah,
it's
it's kind of like you forget that, like if you're on a big show like Dayton,
yeah,
it could take you 10 minutes to walk from the one pavilion to the other, right? Because and it could even be longer because you're running into people along the way.
Right.
On a virtual convention, you're moving from space to space, the speed of light, as fast as your mouse can click. So, but I think that there'll be a lot of variety and choice, and we're trying to make sure that once you're on the platform, there's no technical issues, and we're trying to minimize the use of text chat.
Okay.
It's all video or audio. If you don't want your camera on, then you don't turn it on, and so you're having an audio conversation with somebody, but you have the opportunity to video chat with everybody.
Perfect. That'll be great. Well, like I said, I'm excited to see it. I'm looking forward to it. I've definitely got it on the calendar. I've got the link up on my website at hamradio2.com. You can find that there at the front page. Tell me the website of the actual Ham Expo event again.
Right. So it's QSO Today Hamexpo.com.
Okay.
QSO Today Hamexpo.com.
Okay.
And as we get more information, we're putting it on there. And I'm the webmaster, so if it doesn't look very artsy, it's because I'm the webmaster at the moment.
Yeah. I will link that. I will put that URL in the description of this video below. So if you don't want to type it all out, just scroll down to underneath the video and click on it. It'll be linkable from there as well. So Eric,
right, and we're still working with exhibitors. So as we add exhibitors, then you'll see that the exhibitor list on the side will continue to grow down.
Great. Cool. Well, thank you very much for your time today. I look forward to seeing how it grows over the next 2 months, and look forward to the event. And we'll definitely follow up with you at the beginning of February. I think that's when our next,
right.
Yeah, about a couple weeks from now. We'll follow up a couple weeks from now, get a updated status, and then we'll probably talk to you again in the first part of March as well. So just to kind of keep the ball rolling on that. So 73, Eric, thank you for joining us today, and appreciate your time.
73, Jason, thanks so much.